O que está acontecendo em Gaza não é uma guerra. É um exército matando mulheres e crianças. Possivelmente todas as pessoas de bom senso no mundo, inclusive gente do povo de Israel, e você deve ter lido uma carta do ex-ministro de Israel, do ex-primeiro-ministro, criticando que não é mais uma guerra, de que é um genocídio. Vocês já viram carta de 1000 militares anunciando que aquilo não é mais guerra, é genocídio. Você não pode, a pretexto de encontrar alguém, matar mulheres e crianças, deixar crianças com fome. Eu não sei se vocês viram a cena de 2 crianças que estavam carregando farinha para comer e que foram mortas. Ou seja, é exatamente por conta de que o povo judeu sofreu na sua história que o governo de Israel deveria ter bom senso e humanismo no trato com o povo palestino. Eles se comportam como se o povo palestino fosse cidadão de segunda classe. E nós temos dito há muito tempo, o Brasil foi o primeiro país a reconhecer o Estado palestino aqui na América do Sul, e eu volto a reafirmar, só haverá paz quando a gente tiver consciência de que o palestino tem direito ao seu Estado, à terra demarcada, aquele acordo de 1967, que o governo de Israel não quer deixar ser cumprido e todo dia manda a gente atacar o território palestino, inclusive tentando atacar a Cisjordânia para agredir produtores rurais palestinos. É isso. Ou seja, em vez de dizer que é antissemitismo, precisa parar com esse vitimismo. Precisa parar com esse vitimismo e saber o seguinte: o que está acontecendo na faixa de Gaza é um genocídio.
I'm Yashrella, it's your brother Darash Shamat. I'm back with another lesson. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Mekakodash. Double honor to elders and apostles of Great Millstone, bringing out this truth. Shalom to those who elect, includes 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there, including those speckled bird Israelites who may look like the other nations but are not. And this one goes out to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Remember, this is not a black thing. Shalom. We'll call this one, Behold, the Nations Are Mad, with the victim villains. Okay, so y'all should have just seen the intro where the president of, Brazil, basically went in on those Amalekites over there in the Holy Land for what they were doing, just straight up calling it like a genocide. Basically, you know, like any sensible person, even one of them, can see that what they're doing is just absolutely wrong. Now, that video came from like June 3rd, 2025, but I just came across it. And it just piqued my interest that the nations are getting frustrated with Esau Edom. All right, so you have nations that are frustrated with the Amalekites. You have nations that are frustrated with the Americans, okay, over here in Babylon the Great. All right, and they're all Esau, okay? America, those Amalekites, those Europeans, they're all Esau, okay? And so the nations, they've had enough. With the weak say I'm strong, they're starting to stand up, you know, for themselves. They're starting to speak out, and it's a beautiful thing. So this verse, Jeremiah 51:6, it says, flee thee out of the midst, verse 7, Babylon had been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand. And I'm speaking of America, Babylon the Great, okay, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken enough for wine, and therefore the nations are mad, all right? And so these nations are mad because America's, you know, pushing this westernization, okay, and, you know, messing up their cultures and stuff. Like, if you ever listen to the women talk about this whole situation going on with Iran, their angle is the women are oppressed over there, you know. So, you know, it's fine if you go and do all of that bombing and stuff over there, because the women are oppressed over there. You got to free them, you know. You got to bomb them and give them some democracy and stuff like that. They just want freedom to gather abroad. Even the women over there, a lot of them, you know, they just want the freedom, you know, to gather abroad. They see how the Western women, you know, live, and they want that. If you go, Queen Vashti, in the beginning of the book of Esther, Okay, the men knew that if you show these women an example of women, rebelling and not, respecting their husbands, the rest of them was gonna follow. And so the world seeing, what the Western woman is allowed to do, they want that too, right? And these men in these other countries that are more traditional, they're not having that. They're not having America come in and westernize them and, basically ruin their economy, turn their daughters into, basically prostitutes. Because, that's what the traditional American woman is, a prostitute. All right? Especially our own Israelite women, according to the curses in Amos 7 and 17. All right? And so these nations are mad at Esau for one thing or the other. I found this article. It's the rejection of westernization in Russia. And it says, imagine if the United States received this primary source of influence from a different country. Okay? That's what this is about. Would people question their liberty and freedom or how a civil society works overall? The answer would probably be yes. Most Americans would consider their identity and freedom as being violated when a government employee crosses their yard, but yet fully support the idea of westernization. The term westernized is so short, but it has many meanings. Westernization is dynamic export of Western values into another social, political, and even cultural environment. On one hand, our world is witnessing an extensive process of adapting to Western culture. Okay, so that's that wine, okay, that Babylon has been pushing across the world, their culture, okay, the image of the beast, okay, which has even affected traditional societies like Russia or Saudi Arabia. Okay, but on the other hand, a country must respond to these challenges in order to survive and find its direction between the Western values and national values. So basically, you're saying, okay, so Americans, they'll have a problem if a government official walked across their yard, but they're fine with pushing Western values onto other countries. They feel like the alphabet soup and liberating women and feminism and all of that should be pushed on to all the world. They're fine with supporting it because, these countries, they're just wrong and they shouldn't be doing stuff like this. It should just be a free-fall and you should be able to do what you want. Or Albert Pike, do as thou wilt nonsense. Okay? Just finish a little bit more of this. It says Russia has a long history of being anti-Western, dating back to the Cold War era. Okay, which is why, we got Russia set up as an opponent to Babylon the Great in these last days. The Soviets used to spread propaganda against capitalist culture and ideology. Mark Twain used to say that history doesn't repeat itself, but the last 6 years in Russia show it differently. There have been strong anti-Western elements noticed in the Russian press and talks shown on TV dedicated to this topic. This leads to my research question. Why does Russia seem to be in the process of rejecting Western influence? This paper will attempt to analyze what influences Russian public opinion and attitudes toward the West, right? So this is the article, if y'all want to go read it for yourselves. But, so, you got Americans, they're pushing that westernization from Babylon the Great. Of course, that's affecting people, so the nations are mad at that. And then the victim villains, they're doing all of this wickedness and they're getting exposed. They can't hide it anymore. They're not able to hide, the wickedness that they're doing because, everybody has a cell phone and stuff like that. They talked about how they cut off the internet over there in the Gaza Strip, okay, because they didn't want people to know what was going on. This is Job 20 and 27, and it says, the heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. So how's the heaven going to reveal his iniquity? Through the prophets, okay? That's how Esau is being made bare, okay? Through the servants, the prophets, all right? Yahweh Shem Yahushua got it set up, all right? And the earth shall rise up against him. So all these nations, they go rise up against Esau. They go turn on him, okay? He go even turn on himself. A kingdom divided against itself cannot stand, all right? The kingdom is already divided. And, it's going to divide some more. All right? Even here in Babylon the Great, the people are divided. Okay? In this so-called two-party system. All right, they're very. Let's go to Amos. Where are we? Amos 3. Verse 7 says, surely Yahweh power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. Okay? And so he is revealed, to his servants and prophets, starting with the elders and apostles on down, who Esau Edom is. Okay? And they brought it out, and it's being exposed. Now the nations are getting mad with this man, but they haven't put two and two together of who they're dealing with. Okay? Let's see. Let's just read Jeremiah 49. Let's start at verse 7. It said, concerning Edom, thus said Yahweh power of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? All right? And yeah, they're losing it. All right? They're not moving wisely anymore. They can't deceive the world anymore. That veil, that covering cast that they placed over all people, the elect can see through it now, okay? And now these heathen are starting to see their wickedness, all right? Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. So Esau got his visitation. He is going to get his judgment, all right? He's been escaping this since the beginning. If grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves by night, will they destroy till they have enough? Verse 10. But I have made Esau bare. He is exposed. He cannot hide himself. I have uncovered his secret places. Okay? Expose them. That he shall not be able to hide himself. All right? He can't hide from this judgment that's coming to him. He can't be like, oh no, I'm not Esau. No, we know who you is, my boy. His seed is spoiled. All right? All of his seeds, they're all corrupted. All right? They come out speaking lies from when they was born. And they break every treaty they enter into, attacking people in the midst of negotiations. And his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. All right? His time is coming to an end. And at the end of that 1,000-year captivity, he going to be done away with. All right? So, I hope this short lesson was edifying, Yasharallah. I just wanted to come out with that video of that president really, getting mad with them Amalekites going over there. It just shows, the times that we're in. All right? But hopefully they get to action, because they've been talking for a while now. So, Shalom, Yasharallah.